Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today, we embark on an epic adventure, a true test of lightweight computing in 2025. First up is the legendary ThinkPad X200. This machine debuted around 2008, renowned for its tank-like build quality and iconic keyboard. For many, it represents the ultimate retro laptop. But can such an old machine still run efficiently today? That's exactly why we're here. Our mission is to breathe new life into the ThinkPad X200 using one of the most efficient Linux distributions available today, MX-23.6, specifically the Fluxbox edition. Fluxbox is an ultra-lightweight window manager, perfectly suited for hardware like the ThinkPad X200s. You might wonder why this combination. The ThinkPad X200 typically comes with an Intel Core 2 Duo CPU and likely only 2 to 4 GB of DDR3 memory. Modern operating systems can struggle with this setup. Now, MX Linux is based on Debian Stable, renowned for its stability and excellent customization tools. The standard XFCE edition is lightweight, but what about the Fluxbox edition? It's streamlined to the extreme. We're talking about peak performance, exactly what this ThinkPad hardware demands. MX Linux 23.6, codenamed Libretto, is the latest stable release for 2025. It delivers new kernel updates and bug fixes, ensuring optimal compatibility with older hardware like this. So, if you have a dusty, old ThinkPad X200 lying around, or you're looking to breathe new life into some old hardware, let's get started. The most critical step before installing any operating system, back up your data. I cannot stress this enough. If you have any important data on your ThinkPad X200s, such as documents, photos, videos, make sure to store it securely elsewhere. External hard drives, cloud storage services like Google Drive or Dropbox, or even a USB flash drive are all good options. During this process, we'll erase all data on the hard drive. If you don't back up, everything on it will be lost. Once the preparatory work has been completed, we can proceed to the next step. Our first step is to obtain the MX Linux ISO file. This step requires a functional computer with an internet connection. Open your web browser, search for MX Linux on Google, and visit the MX Linux official website. On the MX Linux official website, locate the Downloads section. You may see multiple MX Linux options. We need to locate the download link for MX Linux Fluxbox. If you are using 32-bit hardware, download the i386 version. However, the ThinkPad X200 can handle 64-bit. Therefore, we select the download from X23.6 Fluxbox x64. ISO, the MX Linux ISO file is approximately 2.4 GB in size, so please be patient. During the download, you may wish to enjoy a cup of coffee or review the ThinkPad X200's BIOS settings. During the download process for the MX Linux ISO, we require a tool to burn the MX Linux ISO file onto a USB drive, rendering it bootable. This is crucial, as the ThinkPad X200 typically lacks an integrated optical drive. My chosen tool is Etcher. It is cross-platform, free, and exceptionally straightforward to use. Please download and install Etcher on your current computer. After downloading the MX Linux ISO file and installing Etcher, insert your USB drive. Open Etcher, select the downloaded ISO file, then choose your USB drive as the target drive. Please double-check that you have selected the correct drive. Choosing the wrong one may erase important data on other drives. Click Flash and let Etcher work its magic. This process may take several minutes, depending on the speed of your USB drive. Upon completion, you will receive a confirmation message. Do not format the USB drive afterwards, simply eject it safely. Once the bootable USB drive is ready, we insert it into the ThinkPad X200. Switch on the ThinkPad X200, then immediately press the F1 key repeatedly to enter the BIOS utility settings. Within the BIOS, first press the F9 key to restore default settings. Then press the F10 key to save and exit. The ThinkPad X200 will now reboot. When the ThinkPad boot screen reappears, press the F12 key to enter the boot menu. Within the boot menu, select to boot from the USB HDD and press Enter. Now we have arrived at the MX Linux boot menu. Within the MX Linux boot menu, we may select our preferred boot method. Typically, the first default option will suffice. Select it and press Enter. Your ThinkPad X200 laptop will then load the fully functional MX Linux live desktop environment directly from your USB drive without accessing your internal hard drive. On this ThinkPad X200, Loading the MX Linux Fluxbox desktop environment took approximately 1 minute. This is the complete MX Linux Fluxbox desktop running entirely from your USB drive. Feel free to click Open Applications and experience the operating system without installing anything. Before a formal installation, we can test the operating system in a live environment. This is a crucial step to verify all hardware. Wi-Fi, sound, screen resolution, touchpad, and other components are functioning correctly. Right here, the ultra-minimal Fluxbox desktop. Notice how swiftly it loads. Even on this older Core 2 Duo processor, it runs remarkably smoothly. Observe the memory usage in the system monitor, incredibly low, under 400 MB. This is precisely why we selected Fluxbox. If everything is in order, we can proceed with the installation. On the MX Linux Live desktop, you will notice an icon labeled Install MX. Double-click it to launch the installer. This installer is highly user-friendly, guiding you step by step through the entire installation process. The first step is to configure the language and keyboard layout. Ensure your keyboard layout is correct, especially that splendid ThinkPad keyboard layout. The second step is disk partitioning. This is where most new users feel nervous. We have two main options: automatic installation, which wipes the entire disk, or custom partitioning. As we're performing a clean install on this X200, I'll opt for the automatic installation using the entire disk. If you're dual booting, you may select Custom and use the MX partitioning tool to shrink existing Windows or other Linux partitions, then create new ones for MX. For a fresh installation, I recommend setting up a small swap partition. Approximately 4 GB is sufficient for the ThinkPad X200 hardware, a primary root partition formatted as ext4, and an optional separate primary partition for user files, though a single root partition suffices. Step 3. Configure hostname and user settings. Whilst copying files, the installer will prompt you to configure system settings. Hostname. This is your computer's name on the network. For the domain name field, you may leave this blank for home use. Computer network group is typically left blank as well. Step 4. Set localization preferences. Here, configure your geographical region and configure the clock and time zone. Step 5 involves user configuration. Set up your primary user account, security password, and root password. While it's good practice not to enable automatic login, it proves rather convenient for personal computers like mine. For enhanced security, I recommend leaving the automatic login option ticked. File copying is now underway. This is the perfect moment to grab a cup of coffee, catch up on your chat logs, and let the magic happen. MX Fluxbox's lightweight nature means installation is actually quite swift. On this ThinkPad X200, the entire process took about 9 minutes. Upon completion of the installation, you will see a message prompting you to close the installer and automatically restart the system. After clicking Finish, the installer will close and automatically restart the system. During the restart process, once the screen turns black, we must remove the USB installation media. This is crucial to prevent your ThinkPad X200 from attempting to boot from the USB again. Your ThinkPad X200 will now reboot. Upon restarting, it will boot directly into your newly installed MX-23.6 Fluxbox, codenamed Libretto. As the ThinkPad boot screen bearing the Intel and Lenovo logos reappears, this ThinkPad X200 approaches its pivotal moment. We observe the GRUB menu counting down, which will guide us into the freshly installed MX Linux Fluxbox desktop, codenamed Libretto. Success. MX Fluxbox boots significantly faster than any commercial operating system achieved on this 2008 hardware. Upon booting MX Linux for the first time, the window that greets you is MX Welcome. This is not merely a simple welcome message, but a powerful navigation hub. First, it greets you like an old friend, introducing MX Linux's unique charm and swiftly conveying the system's core philosophy and formidable capabilities. Next, you'll no longer need to search through vast documentation for answers. MX Welcome thoughtfully provides direct links to essential resources, whether official documentation, detailed user manuals, vibrant community forums, or FAQs. All are just a click away to resolve your queries. Even better, it assembles a collection of MX Linux's secret weapons, a suite of powerful MX tools. from system backups and driver installations to system cleanups and snapshot management. These tasks that might once have daunted newcomers are now within easy reach. You'll also find essential tools like the Package Manager prominently placed for straightforward software installation. Now, let us begin with the About tab, where you can view MX Linux's software version details alongside a summary of hardware information. What strikes me most here is that MX Linux's support period extends until June 2028. Next, we shall launch MX Tools, MX Linux's customization utility, to configure the system post-installation. At the same time, I should like to share my thoughts on the ThinkPad X200 and MX Linux Fluxbox. First, I'd like to discuss the ThinkPad X200 from a hardware perspective. The ThinkPad X200 series was released around 2008, encompassing the X200, X200s, and X200 tablet. Today we'll focus primarily on the standard ThinkPad X200 model. Processor-wise, the ThinkPad X200 typically featured Intel Core 2 Duo CPUs, such as the P8400, P8600, P8700, or T9400. These dual-core processors proved more than capable for numerous tasks. Regarding memory, the ThinkPad X200 supports up to 8 GB of DDR3 SODIMM memory. This is important. If you own an X200, upgrading to 8 GB is highly recommended, and it remains relatively affordable. In terms of storage, the ThinkPad X200 originally came equipped with an HDD, but the SATA 2i interface permits upgrading to an SSD, arguably the most impactful upgrade you can undertake. This will revitalize the machine. Regarding the display, it features a 12.1-inch matte LCD screen, typically with a resolution of 1280 by 800. While not a Retina display, it excels for productivity and eliminates mirror-like reflections. Regarding the keyboard, the ThinkPad X200 features the legendary 7-row ThinkPad keyboard. It is frequently hailed as one of the finest laptop keyboards ever produced. The tactile feedback, key travel, and layout are all exceptional. For connectivity, the ThinkPad X200 offers Wi-Fi Gigabit Ethernet, 3 USB 2.0 ports VGA output, an express card slot ideal for connecting USB 3.0 or other peripherals, and an SD card reader. While lacking an HDMI port, select models offer optional DisplayPort or VGA interfaces. Regarding the battery, the ThinkPad X200 offers a choice of 4-cell, 6-cell, or 9-cell options. With the new 9-cell battery, you can still achieve quite respectable battery life, particularly under lightweight operating systems. Regarding build quality, the ThinkPad X200 features a magnesium alloy roll cage and robust plastic construction. These machines can withstand rigorous wear and tear. To fully leverage MX Linux Fluxbox on the ThinkPad X200, 2 upgrades are essential. First, upgrade to an SSD or solid-state drive. Even the most basic 2.5-inch SATA SSD significantly improves boot times, application loading speeds, and overall system responsiveness. This represents the best value for money upgrade. The second is upgrading to the maximum RAM capacity, namely 8 GB DDR3. Whilst MX Linux with Fluxbox is lightweight, having 8 GB enables smoother multitasking, more browser tabs, and better performance for demanding applications. These 2 upgrades, combined with our chosen operating system, truly transform the ThinkPad X200 from a relic into a perfectly capable daily driver for a wide range of tasks. Next, I'll discuss MX Linux Fluxbox, which I'm familiar with. MX Linux is based on Debian stable, meaning you gain a rock-solid, secure, and well-supported foundation. It also grants access to an extensive software repository. But MX Linux adds its own distinctive features. First is the AntiX Core, which incorporates elements from another lightweight Debian-based distribution, AntiX. This contributes to its remarkable performance on older hardware. Second is MX Tools. As mentioned, this is an exceptionally useful feature. It comprises a suite of graphical utilities that simplify common and advanced system tasks. We shall explore some of these features. Third is its vibrant community, a dynamic and helpful group of users. The current stable release of MX Linux is version 23.6 Libretto, delivering the latest improvements and package updates to ensure compatibility and security. It is built upon Debian 12 Bookworm. Now, let us introduce the true secret weapon of our ThinkPad X200 Fluxbox. What is Fluxbox? Fluxbox is a window manager, not a full desktop environment. This means Fluxbox handles only windows, menus, and backgrounds, no bloat. In terms of resources, Fluxbox consumes an astonishingly small amount of memory and CPU. On the ThinkPad X200, this translates to exceptionally high responsiveness. Regarding customization, whilst it offers a clean, out-of-the-box appearance, it is highly customizable via plain text configuration files. This means you can tailor virtually every aspect of its look and behavior to your personal preferences. Regarding keyboard use, Fluxbox users typically become highly proficient with keyboard shortcuts, enabling efficient workflows. As you can see, the desktop is remarkably uncluttered. The main menu opens with a simple right click. At the bottom, or top, or side, depending on your configuration, sits a panel, or slot, displaying minimal indicators and open applications. It operates swiftly and unobtrusively, allowing you to focus on your work without distraction. The right-click menu serves as Fluxbox's primary method for launching applications. Regarding keyboard shortcuts, learning a few basic ones will significantly boost your workflow. Alt-Tab switches between windows, Ctrl-Alt-T opens the terminal, Win+R runs commands, and so forth. For workspaces, Fluxbox supports virtual desktops, simplifying organization. Splits are small areas where you can dock simple applications like clocks, system monitors, or compact terminals. For those who enjoy hands-on customization, Fluxbox's configuration files are straightforward text documents. You needn't rely on graphical editors for everything. This simplicity is part of its charm and contributes to its efficiency. Now, let us briefly explore what truly makes MX Linux user-friendly MX Tools. MX Tools is an excellent collection of graphical utilities that simplifies common and advanced system tasks, thereby eliminating the need for many users to resort to complex terminal commands. MX Snapshot creates a bootable live USB of your currently installed system. This proves invaluable for backups, system migration, or crafting custom live environments. MX Tweak easily alters system themes, icons, font sizes, and other visual aspects. MX Package Installer, a graphical frontend for installing common software, codecs, and even specific drivers, typically sourced from various repositories. This makes locating and installing software a breeze. MX Cleanup, a straightforward tool for purging old packages, cache files, and freeing up disk space. MX Boot Repair conveniently fixes bootloader issues. MX Conky, a straightforward manager for the Conky system monitor, allowing you to display system information directly on your desktop. It is precisely these tools that make MX Linux so user-friendly. They provide graphical interfaces for tasks that might otherwise seem daunting, genuinely lowering the barrier to managing a Linux system. One of the greatest advantages of Fluxbox and Linux is the ability to customize your system entirely to your liking. Themes. Fluxbox uses themes as simple text files to control colors, fonts, borders, and window decorations. You can download existing themes or create your own. Wallpaper. Easily set background images. Menu editing, used to define each entry in the right-click menu. You can add, remove, and rearrange applications, scripts, and commands. Key bindings enable you to assign any command to any keyboard shortcut. This proves highly effective for boosting workflow efficiency. Startup scripts execute commands upon Fluxbox launch, allowing you to start applications, configure monitors, or set other initializations. Conky. Integrate a highly customizable system monitor to display CPU usage, RAM, network statistics, and more directly on your desktop. This level of control may seem daunting at first glance, but proves immensely rewarding in practice. Once configured to your preferences, it transforms into a truly personalized computing environment, uniquely yours. Moreover, Fluxbox's lightweight nature ensures these customizations impose no performance penalty. I did not benchmark this installation, as I believe the genuine user experience matters more. From installation to operation thus far, you will find memory usage. When booting fresh with Fluxbox and MX Linux, memory consumption may be as low as 200-300 MB. By contrast, Windows or even other Linux desktop systems require several gigabytes of memory. CPU idle barely registers when idle, leaving all power for applications. This efficiency translates directly into a faster, cooler, quieter machine and significantly longer battery life compared to heavier operating systems. So, how does the X200 with MX Linux Fluxbox perform in real-world scenarios? Boot time using a solid-state drive. Boot time is expected to be around 10-20 seconds before reaching a fully functional desktop. For an older machine, this is quite impressive. Productivity. Word processing, spreadsheets, and presentations using LibreOffice or online alternatives work exceptionally well. Email and chat, Thunderbird, Evolution, or web-based clients run flawlessly. Application launch times, Firefox, LibreOffice, Google Chrome, Terminal, and similar applications launch impressively quickly. Web browsing. This is typically the most demanding task. Using lightweight browsers like Google Chrome, Firefox, or Falcon, coupled with sensible use of ad blockers, generally results in very smooth web browsing. Multiple tabs are also easily manageable. Media consumption, local video playback, many formats, even 1080p is usually problem-free. YouTube videos at 720p or 480p typically play smoothly depending on the specific video and browser settings. Lightweight coding, scripting ideal for development in Python, C, Java, etc., using text editors or lightweight IDEs. This delivers a highly enjoyable and efficient computing experience. Swift feedback means less waiting and more execution. Whilst this combination is excellent, we must realistically consider its limitations and certain factors. From a hardware perspective, no native USB 3.0 live. This may become a bottleneck for external storage. An express card adapter can add USB 3.0. No HDMI's only VGA output is available, unless you locate an X200 with DisplayPort Rare or employ a DisplayPort to HDMI adapter. Limited CPU capability. While Core 2 Duos remain capable, they cannot compete with modern CPUs for demanding tasks like video editing, serious gaming, or intensive virtualization. Wi-Fi ends sufficient for most needs, but lacks Wi-Fi AC or AX. Fluxbox learning curve, the minimalist, menu-driven approach of Fluxbox requires some adjustment for users coming from Windows or full desktop environments. Graphic configuration tools are limited, with greater reliance on text files. No dedicated GPU integrated Intel graphics are suitable for desktop use and light media, but not for graphics-intensive tasks or modern gaming. Battery life, while improved by a new battery and lightweight OS, do not expect all-day battery life comparable to modern low-power machines. These are not necessarily drawbacks, but characteristics to be aware of. This configuration excels at productivity, web browsing, light development, and general computing rather than high-end multimedia creation or gaming. Today's discussion covers a wealth of topics, from the enduring ThinkPad X200 to the high performance of MX Linux 23.6 running Fluxbox. What we present here is more than just an old laptop running Linux. It is a statement. It is about sustainability, breathing new life into functional hardware, and reducing electronic waste. It is about efficiency, demonstrating that less is more, and that lightweight operating systems can unleash incredible performance. It is about control, empowering users to understand and customize the core of their computing environment. It's about joy, the pure satisfaction of using a fast, responsive, reliable machine that stands the test of time, running software that perfectly complements its strengths. So, if you have an old ThinkPad X200 gathering dust, or you're seeking an efficient and powerful computing experience on a budget, I strongly recommend trying MX Linux with Fluxbox. You might just rediscover the joy of computing. Have you installed Linux on a ThinkPad X200 laptop? Have you installed MX Linux Fluxbox on an older laptop? Please share your experiences in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more tech content and hit the notification bell to ensure you don't miss our next video. Thank you for watching. I hope this sharing proves enlightening for everyone.